Yo, what's happening, Bassheads? Coming at you today with 3 car audio terms I think you should know. So we're going to start out with, well, one, you have watts is pretty important. Then you have RMS, which kind of goes with watts. And then you have frequency response. So I'm going to give you the actual definition, then I'm going to dumb it down and give you my Mississippi low IQ for me explanation of it. So maybe it'll make it easier for you to understand. So the first one is watts. This is very popular in car audio because you have amplifiers that are rated in watts. For instance, the JP83, 8300 watts. Then over here you have the Hexicone Pro 80. And on the side right here, you can see where it says 200 to 275 watts. And then you have RMS. So watts, it says, the definition is a unit of measure for power or the rate at which energy is used or produced. Definition: 1 watt is equal to 1 joule of energy per second. So now that you know the technical definition, my dumbed down version of it is the power that something's going to be putting out. And again, we try to equate it with RMS power is going to be, when we're talking about speakers or subwoofers, I mean, you could say an amplifier puts out 8300 watts RMS, but it doesn't kind of mean that in my opinion. But anyway, watts is how much, again, energy or power this amplifier is putting out. And watts on a speaker is kind of what it's able to take coming from an amplifier, how many watts it's able to take. So next is the RMS power. It says RMS power, which stands for root mean square power, is a measurement of the continuous power that a speaker or amplifier can handle, essentially representing the average power it can output over time without being damaged. It's considered the most reliable indicator of a device's true power capability, unlike peak power, which maybe we'll do a little bonus for peak power, which only reflects short bursts of high power runs. So RMS power is, for instance, an RMS power is like you going for a walk. Like you can walk for a really long time because you're just putting out your RMS power, or you're handling your RMS power. If you're a speaker, you're taking this amount of physical exertion that's being put on you, but since you're just walking, not at a fast pace or anything, you can do it for a really long time. But when it comes to, again, we're going to give you a little bonus right here, peak power is on the other side. So peak power is where you can run as fast as you can, but for a very short time before you fall out or whatever. Same thing with a speaker. When you're talking about RMS power, on the side of this box right here, you see it says 200 to 275 watts RMS. That means this speaker can take that all day long with no issues. Clean power. You don't want to be distorting it, but it can take that for a really long period of time. A lot of people were saying, well, what's your peak power? Like, we hate to even put that on there because people are like, oh, if the peak power is, usually people put double the RMS power for a peak. So if we did that for the speaker, it would be 400 to 550 watts peak power. People in their brains would be like, oh, I'm just going to run it at peak power, like, because I'll keep it clean or whatever. And then when it fails, they're like, oh, I want a new speaker under warranty. Like, bro, you ran it way over the RMS power. And most people will be clipping it and everything like that and playing it for long periods of time. So it causes the speaker to fail. But that's kind of going to be the RMS power for a amplifier putting out RMS power. It's going to be the electrical is right for it. It's not really being stressed. So say a JP83 RMS power putting out, it could be 8300 watts easy all day long. But if you start upping the voltage or lowering the ohm load, it's going to start getting into over that. Like, it's going to put out more power, but it's more stressful on the amplifier. Just like if you go from walking to running, you're putting out your peak exertion, then you're not going to be able to do it for as long. It's going to be very taxing on your body or the equipment. All right, frequency response is what we're going to go to next. The definition, it says, in speakers, refer to the range of sound frequencies a speaker can accurately reproduce, measured in hertz, essentially indicating how well a speaker can play both low bass and high treble sounds across the audio spectrum with a flat response, meaning it plays all frequencies in a relatively even volume level. So for instance, over here, if you look down here, you'll see frequency response range 50 hertz to 11,000 usable. So this is going to be what it can play at, and it's different for every speaker because different people want different types of setups and their speakers or subwoofers to perform differently. For instance, somebody with a subwoofer, obviously a subwoofer, you can look at this subwoofer right here and this mid right here. They're two totally different things. You can see they're totally set up differently. I mean, the magnet of this thing is bigger than this whole speaker. This is made to do a specific job, and this is made to do a specific job. So obviously the frequency response of this subwoofer is not going to be the same as the frequency response of this mid-range. And the same thing with a tweeter. If you have a very small tweeter, it's not going to play the same frequency as a subwoofer. So that's why there's so many different subwoofers, mids, and tweeters, and horns, and all these things to hit these specific frequency ranges, because that's why you see people with a subwoofer, a mid, tweeter, horns, you have all these different speakers because they're all doing specific jobs in a person's system. So a frequency response is going to be, say for a subwoofer, it'll be able to play from 20 hertz to 60 hertz. And again, depending on the subwoofer, this subwoofer is going to play a lot lower frequencies than say a Sundown SA series subwoofer. They're built totally different, and this one's going to shine more on the lower frequencies than your say 35 to 45 hertz. It'll still play it, it just won't play it quite as well as the other speaker or the other subwoofer, because the other one is designed to play that other frequency range better. Same thing with mid-range speakers. You'll have mid-ranges that are strictly for mid-bass, so it'll on the frequency response it'll say, again, I'm just using generalized frequencies, but for a mid-bass speaker, it'll do say 60 hertz to 200 or something like that. This speaker, it has a wider range, so it'll still play some mid-bass, but it won't play as well as a dedicated mid-bass speaker. So if you're looking for a dedicated mid-bass, you'd want to get a different speaker. But if you're looking for something that's going to play a wider range, good, then this would be a great option because it says 50 to 11,000. So, and then if you want something higher than that, that's going to play higher frequencies than that, you're going to be looking at tweeters or tweeter horns or super tweeters or something like that. That's going to take over where these start to fall off on the top end, whether it's say 5,000 hertz and up or 11,000 hertz and up. You're looking for something that's going to cover that range. That's when you're going to start getting in the tweeters and super tweeters and horns. But anyway, I hope this has helped you. This is my dumbed down Mississippi version of explaining these three terms that I hear brought up in car audio all the time. So if it has helped you, hit the thumbs up button. That helps us a lot, and I really appreciate it. Again, if you need anything, hit up downforsoundshop.com, your number one source for all of your car audio needs, backed by the Down for Sound difference guarantee, lowest prices, fastest shipping, and best customer service. Later. What's happening, guys? If y'all enjoyed all the hot content that you saw in that video, be sure to follow me on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram under the Lifer Price, and also Down for Sound Shop on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget Snapchat. I'm JPD4S on there, so be sure to check me out there. We'll see you in the next one. Later.